Yeah, I just saw a video on YouTube and it was titled, social anxiety after lockdown. It just reminded me that actually I wanted to make a video on that topic about a month ago, but it slipped my mind. I forgot to make it because I've been making other videos. So, yeah, I hope all of you are doing well. I feel like I keep saying that, but I genuinely mean it. Especially, obviously, well, for everyone to be doing well, but those of us that have living in London, it's just a relief to kind of be out of this lockdown now. It's been 2 years now. It feels like we've lost, in a way, it feels like we've lost 2 years of our life. I feel like it's almost like being in prison in a way. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. I appreciate all the support, and it's been a lot of fun lately. Actually, doing different videos, dating, boxing, personal development. Anyway. Yeah, just going to have a conversation about this today. I'll give you some tips as well. I was just thinking earlier, sometimes when I do these videos, I put a lot of pressure on myself to always come up with tips that can help people and change their life. But I'm starting to realise that I have to take that pressure off myself, because even if I'm not, consciously giving people life-changing tips or confidence-boosting tips, the things I talk about do that naturally anyway, if that makes sense. It's just that some videos, it is good to outline and say, okay, these are the, specific tips, but just through my conversations, it's almost hard for me not to do a video and there won't be something you can take, some wisdom, some life experience, some honesty, something to give you hope, confidence. So with regards to social anxiety after lockdown, I knew that this was going to happen. I knew it would happen for myself. I knew it would happen pretty much for everyone, because, having social anxiety for many years and then overcoming it for many years and, kind of getting on top of it and getting a lot of social momentum and confidence because of going out, socializing with friends, dating, YouTubing, family, and all the above. I know the value. I know the importance of socializing regularly in order to keep the social anxiety away. That saying, they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. That's an old saying. Basically, what it means is, if you eat healthy, then obviously you're not going to have to visit the doctors. So I always say, socializing, now a conversation a day keeps the social anxiety away. And obviously, sure, you can read between the lines. What I mean by that is, the more you're talking to people, the more social you are, the less social anxiety you're going to have, because you get that momentum, you get that rust off, you get used to being in social situations, and you get out of your head. You don't overthink as much when you're, because I look back, I remember when I was younger and we had like a group of 5 friends, and I was with my friends every day. That's just how it was back in the day, and I loved it. And of course, when you're younger, I had anxieties, I had hang-ups, I had insecurities, but I didn't have like severe social anxiety because I was always with people. Always with people. I was always with my best friends, and they were always staying over at my place. I was always staying over at their place. We were together for hours, night and day. We were always playing football, and I was always around people. And then I was back at home, so you didn't really have time to be worrying about social phobia because you were just with people, and that was a brilliant thing. But obviously, as time has changed, as you get older, as you mature, you don't go out like that anymore. You've got responsibilities, you become an adult. So and I don't know, as you get older, as I've gotten older, you tend to want your own space. You don't actually want that amount of socializing. It's a bit too intense. So, as you get older, your priorities change. So even sometimes your values can change a little bit, and your social patterns change. They just do. It's just kind of a natural process of being young, always wanting to be around your friends, and then getting older, and especially obviously when you get a girlfriend and you have a relationship, and you spend time together. Or I'm not saying when you get older you do have friends, but you just and then obviously if you're working or you're running a business, or even when you're unemployed and you're not working, you just don't tend to spend that much time because other people are married, they've got kids, or they've got priorities, and it's just different. So because of my experiences with social anxiety and over the years helping so many other people, I know the tendencies. So that was one of the things that I was really stressed about myself, and not stressed, more got a bit disappointed when the COVID hit. Obviously concerned about the deaths, people losing their life, was horrible, and a little bit worried about the virus at a certain point, and I was not really worried about it anymore, but I was more concerned and worried about the consequences of the social distancing, how that would affect everyone, all of us, myself, because basically it says it in many different things throughout history, and I think it says it in the Bible somewhere. Man's not meant to be in solitary confinement for too long. It's not healthy. It's not good for your mental health. And when I say man, I mean everyone, men, women, even for big time introverts. Without generalizing, I'm a natural introvert. We like our space. Like, I love my space now, even more than maybe when I was a bit younger, where, like I said, when I was younger, I kind of was insecure. Always wanted people to be around me. You kind of want your friends, you kind of want that. You want them to be around you. But as I've gotten older, I don't know, I don't need that anymore. But at the same time, of course, even when you're older, it doesn't mean you don't want to be around people forever. Of course you do. Of course, like, I want to go out and date. I want to go out with friends. You want to go to the gym. You want to see family. So obviously, I can't speak for everyone because I live on my own, and I know a lot of you do, some of you don't. But I think we've all suffered. Even if you live with your girlfriend or your partner, or if some of you live with your family, everyone was going to have some level of social anxiety after COVID, because we've had 2 years, or almost that, of social isolation. And when we have been going out, most of our social interactions have been really short and not really enough time to get the rust off and to get that awkwardness away. And that's some of the things I've learnt with social anxiety. It doesn't matter how confident you are or how much momentum you've built, if you lose that momentum, and we're not talking a couple of days, that ain't, or a week, that's fine, or even a month, but 2 years, 2 years to be away from human interaction, the most confident person in the world is gonna lose confidence. And it's not so much losing confidence because of not believing in yourself. It's just more rust. You just get rusty, and I've realised it's just the same in anything. If you don't, I've been doing YouTube videos now for almost 10 years, and I like to think I'm really good at it, and I'm quite very comfortable in front of the camera, and I can speak for England. But if I didn't do videos for 2 years, if I had a 2-year break, I can't imagine, how nervous and awkward and rusty I would be because of that huge break. So I'm not surprised, that there's people online now doing videos, and I like when people do it. It doesn't surprise me that people are complaining or saying that they're nervous, they're anxious, they're awkward, they're stressing out, because it's just the nature of having a long period of inactivity, in this case socializing. So yeah, it has been hard, it really has. Now, with the challenges that we have, I do feel lucky, because even though I had a lot of time in isolation, I still made a point of trying to be as social as I could. So I still had phone calls with my family. When we were allowed to socialise, I went and see my family. Pretty much every day doing video calls with my brothers. So, and then when I'd go out in supermarkets, I would go out of my way to talk to the ones, that I know in my local supermarkets and people. So I did make a conscious effort, because I didn't want to have all of my social anxiety coming back, being that I know for a lot of us, myself included, before we went into lockdown, in 2017, I already went through a mental breakdown and had so much anxiety anyway, social and every anxiety you can think of. I put so much energy into overcoming it again, and I just got myself into a really confident place socially. I got myself in shape, went down the gym, and felt ready to go back to work and start teaching and coaching. And then boom, we got hit with COVID-19. That kind of spoilt my plan. So I think the challenge for everyone is, and for me, is that it's that feeling of having to start over again, which is daunting, and it's quite disheartening knowing that you've put in so much effort in your dating or work or whatever, your goals, your personal development, and then to have it all just, ripped away and everything crashing down, it can get you down. But I can honestly say I feel really positive, otherwise I wouldn't have made this video, for myself and for everyone, that everyone will get back to winning ways again. So these are some tips that I've learned that you're going to have to do. You've got to find a new motivation to want to go back out there, get outside your social comfort zone, go through the awkwardness, go through the nerves, the anxiety, the stress, but do it gradually and not put pressure on yourself, and just do it one step at a time. And that's the good thing about this football being on, which I've really appreciated. I'm really glad England are doing well. Is that it's brought everyone together again. And I've watched 2 of the England games with my family, and I've really enjoyed it. So just where I'm at, I'm not feeling 100%, around people. I'm feeling a bit awkward and anxious some days, but I am getting back to where I once was, because I am putting in the practice. So honestly, guys and girls, whoever's listening to this, as hard as it is, push yourself, each day, just to socialize a bit more and more, because you're going to be sorry. You'll be sorry that you didn't put in some effort and face your fears if you leave it. That's the thing with social anxiety. It doesn't go by itself. It don't just go away by leaving it. Like isolating yourself, avoiding people, not going on dates or not meeting with family or friends or whatever it is, that won't take it away. I've tried that and it doesn't work, believe me. It just gets worse. You just get more nervous, you get more frightened, and you start overthinking and you get down. So you don't have to burn yourself out, but just kind of push yourself. So if you're living on your own, I'd recommend going seeing your family, because I know that can be daunting. And that's the thing about social anxiety. Some people don't understand, who've never had it. Even with people you're comfortable with, even family, it can be difficult. It's difficult for me on some days where I'm just not feeling like being around people. And I love my family very much. They're very understanding. It's not personal with anyone. But there are days where I have it where I don't want to be around friends, family. I don't want to go out. Or if I do go out, I just kind of want to be left on my own. I want my own space. And I just think that comes with being an introverted person. And I don't really buy into the stigma of introverts, where people almost have a stigma like introverts are something wrong with them, or they're socially inept, and it's not true. It's just a myth. I'm not being big-headed, but most of the successful people in this world, the great thinkers and sports people and comedians and artists and YouTubers, and they're introverted people. And my introverted nature is giving me a lot of strength and courage and confidence, and I wouldn't have had this YouTube channel and the success I've had in the past, and the courage that I've got to talk openly about my fears, my insecurities, and just the conversations and the nature of the things I talk about on this channel, which are challenging for me at times. Even this video today is a bit challenging. I didn't really feel like talking about this stuff, because I've spoken about it so many times, and it's not always like a topic that excites me. Sometimes it does, but I'd rather talk about Manny Pacquiao, which I have done, and other things. But this is part of growing and challenging yourself. And I think for people, it's just best to be honest and just tell people about your social anxiety, and then you can you can overcome it. It's not like you're going to have it forever. If you don't want to have it, then you can improve it. So just giving an example, guys, I went on a date Friday, and it wasn't easy for me. Now, a lot of people might be surprised because not showing off, but I've probably been on over 500 dates in my life, maybe more, right? I'm not counting, but it's been loads. But it was still difficult for me because it's been a long time. It's been about a year since I've dated someone. The last person I dated was about a year ago, which I'm grateful for. So going on a date and meeting a new person was quite nerve-wracking for me, but I still did it, and it was nice. It was nice to meet someone new, have a conversation. I only had one drink, but I was proud of myself, and I thought I can make a video, on this. I can. Sorry, it's really sunny here. I can, I can take something from my experience and give it to other people, and because I don't know, it's just my way. My mindset is you can't really encourage other people. You can't give them confidence. You can't give them hope if you're not, leading and doing something in your life, at least trying, if that makes sense. Because people are just gonna. I always feel like people will just sense that you're talking a load of baloney, BS, or people will appreciate that you're trying. And I could be wrong in that. Maybe you don't have to be in the process of facing your own fears to help other people to face theirs, but it doesn't really make sense to me. So usually I don't really talk on this channel, if you notice for many years. I don't talk about my personal dating life. I just don't like to. I like to keep that to myself because I don't like, it can fall into like bragging, and I don't feel I'm too old for that now and mature to be, I don't need to prove anything, but in a context, I'm giving an example to inspire you to push yourself. So I've pushed myself. I've gone and seen my family as much as I can. I've gone on a date. I'm going to keep going. I've met up with friends several times. I've been talking to people in shops. So, and I've been on, phone calls and I wouldn't include making these videos, to be honest, because, well, maybe I would. So I haven't given up basically, and I never will. So I hope if you're feeling like giving up, it will help you to not give up, knowing somebody else like you who also suffers with social anxiety is making progress and going in the right direction. And that's the great thing about social confidence. Anyone can build it. It doesn't matter how nervous and look, this is the thing. When I went on a date 2 days ago, the hardest part for me is the start, right? Meeting the person. When we first sat down, I was a bit awkward and a bit nervous, and I'm sure she was as well. She was a little bit nervous too. We spoke about after. But after around 20 minutes, 15 minutes, I settled in, and then, my confidence came and the anxiety went. It kind of it calmed and it faded. And yeah, I've got a lot of experience, so that helps. But sometimes experience doesn't even help when you've had such a long layoff. And they've been talking about that in the boxing world, where a lot of fighters, guys and girls, have been losing fights, not because they're not good enough, because they've had not enough activity. They've not really been going out and fighting often enough because of COVID. So everyone's been affected by this. So there's no need to beat yourself up. I'm not going to beat myself up. I've got nothing to feel embarrassed about or ashamed or defeated, because it's not an excuse. We've all just been through, a global pandemic that has affected so many people. It's affected businesses, it's affected mental health, it's definitely affected me. But I've remained positive throughout, grateful. I've continued, and again, I don't really announce this. It's not really something I talk about on YouTube a lot, but I've got my faith. I say a prayer every day. I say thank God for the things I've got, and I set my goals, and I'm confident all of us will get back to where we was socially, with that. And it's not. I don't just think it's a confidence thing. It's it's a momentum thing. That's the word. We'll get that momentum back, and awkwardness for me. If you're awkward a lot, it's just a sign that you haven't been socializing enough. And the way that you work off awkwardness or social anxiety is by socializing, and it's not just the short interactions. They help it's the longevity, it's the long time that you spend. It's like, you know, if you spend a whole day with someone, or you go out for a movie, or you go out for some drinks or for a coffee, and you're with a friend or a family member for 4 or 5 hours, you settle into yourself, and that's what I always try to explain to people. That I'm not saying like people that knock introverts or judge introverts, or you know, people that don't really understand what it means to be shy or anxious or introverted. I try to explain that introverted people are just as confident as extroverts, but it's just that we need a bit more time just to relax. We're a bit nervous, we're a bit in our head, you know, and sometimes we don't trust as easy. It takes time to feel comfortable around another person. So with that said, be patient, you know, don't be hard on yourself, but keep putting in that practice, and it will come. And I know this is a separate matter, but I always associate these two. When I first started boxing, sparring was so frightening, and it was awkward. It was very awkward. It was like socializing when you're scared and you're awkward and going on a first date, but it was way more intense. And when I used to first get in the ring for the sparring, my legs used to be shaking, my hands were shaking, I couldn't even speak, and I would go whiter than I am now, really pale from fear and anxiety and stress. But after doing it for several weeks, and then we had to spar I'd spar like twice a week or around that. You know, after several weeks of sparring, you got more confident, you got more relaxed. So there wasn't as much panic. There wasn't a big dose of fight or flight, because you just get used to it. Socializing is exactly the same. It's scary at first. So for all of us, for me, when the lockdown, when it first started ending, I was happy like everyone, but I also was fearful. I was like, oh no, I feel, you know, nervous about going back out into the world and socializing and just, you know, everything, meeting friends, family, going in shops, going to the gym. But I just got on it straight away. I'm back in the gym. So I hope this can encourage people, knowing that my words, you know, my words are not, they're not, I was going to say, they're not from a book. They're from real experience. They're from me every single day, pushing myself. But of course, there's days where I like taking time out. Like today. Today's my, I was with my family yesterday, watched the England game. I loved it. And I left really late, midnight. But today I just wanted a day by myself, just to go for a walk, chill out. I don't feel like being around anyone. I need a bit of rest time. And then I'm going to see my family on Wednesday, probably meet up with a friend soon, and I'm going to the gym tomorrow. So I'm not saying you need to copy me, but this is the way that I've done it, and I always do it. So hopefully you can take something from this. But yeah, just keep practicing and don't give up, and it will get better, and you just kind of forget about it, and that's when you know you've kind of overcome it. Where you kind of get your life to a certain point where you have a social life, where a lot of us, you know, we've been deprived, not out of choice. It's not because we're loners or we're losers or we're shy or we're this or we're awkward, all these kind of societal, you know, negative judgments and labels that can get in our heads sometimes. We have to shake them off. It's because there's been a global pandemic, and it's been advised, you know, by the government. And everyone's had to kind of pull together and follow the rules, you know. And obviously a lot of us haven't liked it, and some people don't agree. I'm not going to get into the whole politics because it's going to tire me out. But for whatever reason, whether we liked it or not, we've all had to pull together and support one another, which is a good thing to get through this. And, you know, we've got the summer here now, so I'm just trying to move forward and not live in the past, and, you know, take something positive from a horrible experience that we've all had, and we're all going to look back on this and, you know, and be in a better place. But things have already gotten better, so they're only going to get better and better. So that's my take. That's how I feel about social anxiety after lockdown, and these are the things that I put in place in my life. So hopefully you can take something and apply it to yours, and get yourself, you know, to a level of social confidence to where you're happy. All right, so that's it. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the box below what your thoughts are, what your experiences, because some of the things you might add could help me as well, can help somebody else. And let me know if there's anything that I said that helped you as well, all right? Become fearless.